A phone is vibrating face down on a kitchen table. Someone is sitting next to it. They glance at it. They keep eating. They do not pick up. They are not avoiding the person calling. They are not being rude. They are not anxious. They have just decided, without anyone noticing, that this is not the moment. You probably know someone like this. Or you are someone like this. And you have never been able to fully explain why. Not even to yourself. If you let your phone ring, you have been told things about yourself. Your mother thinks it's rude. She has told you so, more than once. Your boss thinks it's unprofessional. The unreturned call sits in his mind longer than it should. He wonders, quietly, whether you take the job seriously at all. Your friends ask if you're upset with them. Somewhere along the way, I didn't pick up, stopped being a neutral fact, and started being a character flaw. So you started apologizing. Sorry, I was busy. Sorry, I missed it. Sorry. The apologies became automatic, even when they weren't true. Because you weren't actually busy. You saw the call, you watched it ring, and you let it. And you could not explain that to anyone, including yourself. Here is what is actually happening. The phone call is one of the last forms of communication that demands you stop everything and respond on someone else's schedule. A text waits. An email waits. A message waits. A phone call interrupts. For most of human history, you could not be interrupted by someone outside the room. The phone changed that. The smartphone made it constant. And people who never answer their phone are not refusing connection. They are refusing the shape of it. Refusing the moment someone else chose. That is not avoidance. That is sovereignty. And there are 3 different kinds of people who arrive at it. The first kind treats the phone as a tool. When it rings, they ask a quiet question. Is this the right moment to be present for this person? Sometimes the answer is yes, and they pick up. Sometimes the answer is no, and they let it go to voicemail and call back when they can listen. They do not feel guilt about this. They have decided that being available is a choice, not a default, and that half attention is worse than none. If you are this person, the people who love you have adjusted. They text first. They ask if you have a minute. They stop taking it personally. The people who never adjusted needed your availability more than your presence, and you have quietly let those relationships thin. You are not someone with boundaries. You are someone finally honest. The second kind would answer if they could. When the phone rings, something tightens in your chest. You see the name. You know who it is. You even want to talk to them. But the muscle that picks up the phone will not move. You tell yourself you'll call back in 10 minutes. 10 minutes becomes an hour. An hour becomes the next day. The longer you wait, the harder it gets, until the callback feels impossible to make. The unanswered call has its own weight now. It sits with you through dinner, through the evening, through the slow walk to bed. When you finally do call back, you apologize for 4 minutes about a conversation that was only ever going to last 3. If you are this person, you are not bad at communication. You are recovering from a version of it that never let you breathe. Some days you can, some days you cannot. The third kind has stopped explaining. You used to apologize. You used to say, sorry, I missed your call. Somewhere along the way, you stopped. Not because you stopped caring, because you finally understood something most people never name out loud. Attention is finite. Interruption is extraction. Reachability is not a virtue. It is a very recent, very strange historical condition that one generation grew up inside and has begun, quietly, to leave behind. You are not unreachable. You are reachable on terms you chose. You return calls when you have the room to actually hear them. You are not faster than other people. You are more present than them, and you have decided the trade is worth it. You do not feel a need to defend this anymore. Sophie Leroy, a researcher at the University of Washington, has spent years studying what she calls attention residue, the cognitive cost of switching from one task to another. Her work shows that even brief interruptions leave a thin layer of the previous activity stuck to your mind, degrading the quality of whatever you do next. Every unanswered call is, by that measure, a successful defense, not of your time, but of your attention, which is the only thing you actually own. There was a time when the phone was the only synchronous way to reach someone. Now it is one of 7. The expectation has not caught up. The people who still expect you to answer are not asking for connection. They are asking for the specific kind that lets them choose the moment. You stopped agreeing to that. The phone will ring. It will keep ringing. And one day you will realize that letting it ring is not the absence of an answer. It is the answer.